Okay, so today we are going to talk a little bit about truth, but first off, I want to address a message in the group. Yeah, so worrying about a friend. Okay, worrying about a friend. Okay, I won't. Obviously, those that are here, just in case anyone else outside of this group ever sees this video, I'm not going to mention names, but worrying about somebody else's situation. It's a tricky one because you want to help someone, you want to do things for them. But the more we kind of buy into their problem, the more we make it real. Because I think as we know, I think we know anyway, the more you focus on a problem, the bigger it gets. Now, that also works if someone tells you a problem and you focus on it too. So therefore, that problem, it doesn't get doubled, but it gets, it grows a little bit. Okay, the information in the universe about that situation expands. So by worrying about something for somebody, you can make that problem worse to some degree. Okay, it's with the best intentions. Sometimes, if we sympathize, this is a difference between sympathy and empathy. No, sympathy and compassion, I suppose. Sympathy, someone will tell us, about a thing going on in their life, and sympathizing means you kind of feel it with them. Okay, you buy into that kind of situation, you go into it with them, and you feel it too, and that grows the problem. Compassion is understanding someone has some difficulties and wishing them well without buying into it yourself. Okay, so you don't feel sad for them. You don't feel sad. Okay, you feel gratitude. You feel thankful. You feel compassion. So with this situation, how I would go about it, okay, is you don't see them as poor them, they're in a tricky situation. You see them getting the result that would help them out. Okay, you imagine having a conversation with that person saying, I don't know where it came from, but all my problems have been solved. Okay, and you can put your own relevant kind of words and situational things in there. Have that conversation in your head with that person, okay, or with those people, about their success, about their amazing luck, okay, about the good thing that's just come their way. Okay, you imagine them calling you up and saying, hey, Abby, hey, Pete, I can't believe what's just happened. It's a miracle. Okay, all this good luck, all this money, all this whatever just came my way. And so when someone's in trouble, don't kind of stick your arm around them, say, hey, look, chin up. I understand what you're going through. I've been there myself. Hey, imagine going through and picking up the phone from them or meeting them at a coffee shop or wherever is kind of relevant for that relationship. I said, I can't believe my luck. Everything's gone perfectly. It was all looking so grim, and now it's looking amazing. Okay, and you go, wow, that's amazing, great job. That's who would have thought the miracle, the universe is really providing for us. Okay, you might not say those words, but something like that. Okay, it's amazing how things work out. Yeah, all these kinds of things. So that's how I would perhaps approach that situation. And if anyone else is, aside from in the group here, if anyone else is experiencing that kind of thing with a friend or a family member, they're going through something challenging, whether it's financial, whether it's relationship, whether it's health, whatever it is. Imagine them calling you up and saying, yeah, it's all done. it's all fixed. It's all, I can't believe, I got the job, or I got the result, or the doctor told me this, and it's all gone, or whatever it is. Okay, see them successful. Okay, and as Abby said in the group, okay, send blessings. Okay, so just think good things for these people. Okay, they're already thinking enough bad stuff themselves. Okay, don't worry about it for them. Okay, don't go, oh, what if this happens to them, and what if that happens to them, and they'll be struggling. And I'll take them in if things don't go so well. I'll look after them. I'll give them some things. Okay, imagine them working it all out themselves. Okay, imagine them getting exactly what they need. Or imagine them calling you up and say, look, I got exactly what I needed. Hey, all this money just showed up, all this result, whatever it is, hey, just showed up. So yeah, that's how I would, if I remembered. That's how I would approach that if I remember. Okay, when I remember. See people getting good results. See your kids getting their A-level results, okay, and it's A's and B's and not C's and D's, or their GCSEs. Okay, see your kids getting jobs. Okay, see yourself making more money, okay, or see yourself calling up a loved one and saying, hey, look, this thing just happened, and that's exactly the thing I wanted, okay? And it was even better than what I wanted. So see that, okay? Practice seeing those things. So that was the first thing. Second thing is the thing I wanted to talk about, is truth. Truth is a tricky thing, okay? Believe it or not, although it is actually pretty easy, but once we have a look at some of these things, it might seem a bit easier. Now, there's a book, I haven't got it on my bookshelf right now because I know exactly where it is. It's upstairs. Okay, it's called A Course in Miracles. I've mentioned it, but not very much. Certainly not recently. And it's 3 books in one. One book is very Bible-y. It's a channeled text. So somebody sat there and a voice came through them, and they wrote this book. I believe it was a psychologist who was an atheist, and then Jesus spoke to them and told them, which is quite funny in itself. And then book 2, which is if you buy it, is the workbook. Okay, and the workbook basically teaches you how to look at the world in a different way. And that's it. It teaches you how to look at the world in a more truthful way. I get daily emails. That's there's a 365 lessons in the workbook. So I get a daily email. I don't always do the stuff, but sometimes have a quick look at them. I'll just pull. Let's see if I can just pull today's one up so I can give you an example. Sorry, give me a moment. I'll just pause recording for a sec. So I'm going to paraphrase this one a little bit. So this is lesson 41, and the title of this is called God Goes With Me Wherever I Go. Today's idea will eventually overcome completely the sense of loneliness and abandon all the separated ones experience. Depression is an inevitable consequence of separation. So are anxiety, worry, a deep sense of helplessness, misery, suffering, and intense fear of loss. Separated ones have invented many, in inverted commas, cures for what they believe to be the ills of the world. Let's just skip ahead a little bit. I don't want to read all of that. Today we make our first real attempt to get past this dark and heavy cloud and to go through it to the light beyond. Let's repeat the idea if you find it. All right, okay. Oh, hang on. Where's the lesson? Oh, this one isn't laid out as most of them. One long practice. Okay, in the morning, soon you can sit quietly. Okay, with your eyes closed. At the beginning of the repeat today's idea very slowly. Then make no effort of thinking of it. Okay, so today's thought is God goes with me wherever I go. So you spend 3 to 5 minutes thinking about that. Okay, so that's, yeah, God goes with me wherever I go. Okay, so it depends on how religious you are as to whether you want to think of that as God or as a creative force, let's say. Depends on, yeah, the creative force of the universe. Might be a better, if you're less religious, better way to go about it. So that would be a truth. Okay, so energy, okay, or the creative force goes with me wherever I go. So what is true? Okay, what is kind of a definition of truth? Well, something that is true 100% of the time. Okay, 100% of the time. So let's use an emotion as an example. And let's say I got angry. Okay, and I say, I'm angry. Okay, and then I can say, is that true? Well, the answer to that question is no, because truth is true 100% of the time. Okay, so if I say I am angry, it means I am angry 100% of the time. Okay, from birth to death. Okay, always anger. Okay, there's everything about me is angry. Okay, so anger is not true. So pretty much all of our kind of base level emotions are not true. They're transient. Okay, this body. Okay, again, this is where maybe it gets a bit weird. This body is not true. It's a bit of an illusion because this body dies. Okay, and it's changing all the time. So my blood cells are changing, my skin cells are changing, my retinal cells are changing. All the cells in my body are changing all the time. Some are dying, some are being born. Okay, so this body is kind of not part of truth, which is really weird to think about because it's my vehicle. Okay, it's the kind of the real thing about me is my body. Okay, but the real thing about me is my consciousness or spirit or soul. Okay, I think interchangeable words, to be honest. So yeah, so when you start thinking about truth in those terms, well, virtually everything becomes an illusion. So anything that is not true is an illusion. Okay, it's not real. So this table, at some point, this table will break down into dust. So therefore, this table, not real. Okay, because it's transitory. Okay, sun, the sun. Okay? Even though it's going to be around for billions of years, technically, it's kind of not real. Okay, so what is real? Okay, it's energy. Energy merely transforms from one form to another. Okay, what is real? Spirit, soul, consciousness. Again, it's they that will be around forever and ever and ever, and just merely transfer and change. Atoms themselves, we could say atoms themselves are truthful because, or real, because atoms don't disappear ever. Okay, they just transform. They might chemically change as they mix with other things. So hydrogen and oxygen, they start off as two separate gases and they combine, they create water, or they create something else, ozone, in a different combination. Hydrogen and carbon make oil. Okay, so, but you split them apart and they become hydrogen and carbon again, okay? And then they can reform into different things. So the atoms themselves exist forever. They do not change, but they can transform into different things. So yeah, that's the kind of a truth thing. Okay, and what are some other truths? Some other truths are, say, abundance is a truth. So there is abundance in the universe. We might not feel it, okay, because we might not feel an abundance of things. Okay, when we think of the word abundance, we tend to tie that with the word money. Okay, there's an abundance of money, but we can have abundance of health. We can have abundance of air. Okay, we can have an abundance of anything. Okay, and if we look around us, there is an abundance of everything. And if there is not an abundance of everything, it means we just haven't created it yet. Okay, or we haven't created it yet in our lives. So abundance is a truth. Unconditional love is another truth. So it's a different. That's not like romantic love. Again, romantic love changes. Okay, it comes and goes. Okay, sometimes it's high, sometimes it's low. Unconditional love, which I don't think most of us really experience, at least not very much, is there forever. Okay, so that doesn't change. That just exists. What else is there? There's freedom. Again, technically, we are free. Okay, we're free to do what we want. Okay, but we've created rules around our life and expectations around our life, which kind of chain us into jobs and chain us into different various things and expectations. We should behave a certain way. We should do a certain thing. You shouldn't do this as a job and you should do this as a job. And this would be, this is a job that attracts a lot of money and this is a lot of prestige or whatever. And we should aim for that kind of job rather than this kind of job, which doesn't attract a lot of money, which doesn't attract a lot of prestige, which is kind of looked down upon by society, perhaps. Okay, it doesn't really matter what you do. Okay, you're free to choose whatever you want. Okay, so freedom is kind of a truth. But again, it's something we don't often feel because we get trapped. We trap ourselves by things. So yeah, I want you to just recognize that our body is not true. It's an illusion. But we've forgotten. Okay, so we get born into this world not remembering what we truly are. Usually, okay, and it's our job to remember who we are. Okay? And when we remember who we are, there's nothing that can hurt us. We become untouchable. Okay, we become untouchable by other people. Literally, someone could come along and poke you, yeah. But that's true. But it's more like mentally, emotionally, we become untouchable. We know nobody else can harm us. Another truth is that we are all connected. We are all one giant thing. So we think of. I mean, we could go up to the level of the universe, but let's bring it down to the level of the Earth. Okay, at the level of the Earth, we are all tied to this thing. Okay, so it is the Earth and everything that lives upon it is one thing. Okay, think of it a bit like a body. Okay, my body is one thing. I'm not my stomach and my intestines and my hand and my skin and all the things that we've separated. The Earth is one thing. Okay, so mammals are, I don't know, let's say mammals are the intestines and birds are the skin and reptiles are the eyes, whatever. Okay, plants are the lungs, let's say. And all the rocks and minerals and the mantle and the core of the earth, and they're all just different parts of the body of this one organism. So if we're all connected, then what was I getting onto? So we'll bring that back to truth. Well, then we can't harm each other, okay? Or if you do harm to somebody else, you're only harming yourself. If you think badly of another person, you're only thinking badly of yourself. If you're, I don't know, blaming, sad, a victim of circumstances in life, and you're out there pointing fingers at other people and other situations and other events, okay, you're actually just pointing fingers at yourself because they're just different versions of you. They're just different systems within this same body we call planet Earth, or the universe if we go to the biggest scale that we know of. So yeah, truth is true 100% of the time, throughout all eternity. Okay? And if we can remember that, okay, we can and we remember that we're all connected and we're all one giant thing. Okay, maybe we can be a bit more compassionate with somebody else. Okay, because that's by being compassionate with somebody else, you're being compassionate with you. By being and also understand that no one and nothing can harm you because this body is not real. It's all an illusion. Okay, so we need to remember that and realize that we've forgotten who we truly are. Okay, and our truth is that we're a spirit and we're all connected. Okay? And I'm not my body, and I forgot to remember that I'm not my body. Okay? I forgot to remember that I'm not my body. Okay? And that's the truth. So yeah, it's tricky to get your head around. And that book, A Course in Miracles, going through the daily exercises will help you to realize that. Okay, it's about kind of opening your eyes to what is real reality, okay, true reality, rather than what we're seeing. What we see, we assume is real reality. Okay, but if someone was sat right next to me, looking out the same window as me, they would see different things. Maybe their eyes see slightly different colors. Okay, maybe they describe it in a slightly different way. Instead of seeing a beautiful sunny day, maybe they don't like the sun and they go, "Oh, it's such a horrible sunny day." Oh, what disgusting clouds in the sky. Okay, so even though we're looking through the same eyes at the same scene, we have different perceptions of the same period of time, the same images. Okay, so again, so what I see is not true because somebody else will see it in a completely different way, and we have no way of knowing what all the other versions of ourselves will see. Okay, so I'm going to stop there. I think, yeah. So what is true? Let's just try and summarize that. Truth is true 100% of the time throughout all eternity. And there are only a very, 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 very few things that are actually true. Anything that changes is not true. Okay. And anything that changes is an illusion. Okay. If it doesn't last forever, it's an illusion. And we are seeing and experiencing life through our senses, which are seeing untrue things, okay, which are seeing unreality. Again, I'm going to pause and I'm going to see if I can find a better lesson. Okay, so I'm going to just read through lesson 1 from A Course in Miracles. Okay. So the lesson is, nothing I see in this room or wherever it is you're looking means anything. So this is lesson 1. Okay, it says, look slowly around you and practice applying this idea very specifically to whatever you see. This table does not mean anything. This chair does not mean anything. This hand does not mean anything. This foot does not mean anything. This pen does not mean anything. And then it says, then look farther away from your immediate area and apply the idea to a wider range. Okay, that wall does not mean anything. That car does not mean anything. That van does not mean anything, etc., etc. Notice that these statements are not arranged in any order and make no allowance for differences in kinds of things to which they are applied. That is the purpose of the exercise. The statement is merely applied to anything you see. As you practice applying the idea for the day, use it totally indiscriminately. Do not attempt to apply it to everything you see, for these exercises should not become ritualistic. Only be sure that nothing you see is specifically excluded. One thing is like another as far as the application of the idea is concerned. Okay, so that is lesson 1. So that later on it goes into kind of a bit more detail, but it starts off pretty easy with these kinds of things, and you just have to remember to do them periodically throughout the day. So that's kind of a lesson in truth. Okay, so nothing I see is true. Okay, so everything I look at is not real, and it doesn't have any meaning. Okay, my car only has meaning because I give it meaning. Okay, and that's my means of transportation. Okay, it keeps me warm, it keeps me dry when it's wet and I need to get places around. But I've given it that meaning. Okay, it doesn't have any intrinsic meaning. It's just a bunch of metal and electronics and wheels that someone's constructed in a way that resembles what we call a car. Okay, it's completely made up. Okay, it doesn't exist in nature. We've just cobbled together materials and technologies and called it a car. So it's kind of not real. It's made up. It's someone imagined it at some point in the past, and then over a period of time, we've reimagined it and improved things from kind of Model Ts up to what we have in cars today. It doesn't mean anything. Okay, it doesn't mean anything. It has no meaning. So it would help you change. So this book, and particularly the workbook, is there to help you change your mind about how you perceive the world. Let's see if I can find the shorter ones are at the end, because it's just kind of reinforcing what you learned at the beginning. But some of them in the middle are long. I might just read. Okay, so yeah, okay. So just this page here. So lessons 172. Well, it's actually 171 to 177. It might be up to 180. Let's have a look on the next page. I think they're all the same. No, they're not all the same, but they're similar. God is love. God is but love, and therefore so am I. Remember, God is, or the universe and energy is everywhere. Okay, literally inside me, inside you, outside you, everywhere. Okay, in a tree, in everything. Okay, so, and God is love, so therefore so am I. Okay, well, if everything is love, therefore I must be, because it's everywhere. In my defenselessness, my safety lies. Okay, so we don't need to put up walls around us to defend ourselves from X, Y, and Z things, anything. Okay, physical, mental, virus, bacteria. We don't need to protect ourselves. It's our fear that makes us feel the need to protect ourselves. But when we experience unconditional love, okay, and remember that's what we're capable of, we don't need defenses. Okay, we don't need techniques. We don't need anything else. Then, so next thing, okay, God is but love, and therefore so am I. Okay, so it's a repetition. I am among the ministers of God. Well, I have a voice, and I don't really want to read any more into that. But anyway, and then it's a repetition of God is but love, and therefore so am I. Okay, the ministers of God. I don't really understand that one, but perhaps if I did more of the lessons, I would. I just have a look at that every now and again. I don't kind of go through that every day. It's just interesting. So what that book is about uncovering truth, okay, and seeing life and seeing the world as, it's like taking a pretend we everyone's going around wearing sunglasses, okay, and we are only seeing everything's kind of dim. Okay, that book is about taking your sunglasses off and going, the world actually looks like this, not the way I've been perceiving it. Okay, I'll stop there. Truth is true 100% of the time. Cool.